Let's take a look at running a live conference within Borderless Classroom. To run a live conference, head to the Live Conference tab on the far right-hand side of the right control panel. Next, select the students you want to be in your conference. You can do this by either hitting the Select All button to grab everyone in the class, or you can use Multi-Select to pick and choose individual students. Let's start by selecting all. After you've got all your students selected, give your conference a name and hit the Start Conference button. This will open up a window for yourself and for the students asking you how you'd like to join the meeting, whether only with the microphone or with the microphone and camera. That screen will look like this. Once students make a decision of how they'd like to join the meeting, they'll be brought into that conference, which will look like this. This will be your conference interface, and you'll have screens for all of the different students in your classroom, and you'll have controls for muting them as well. The mute button will be this button in the top of the camera, this little speaker icon. This will restrict the audio from all of those students. You click on that and you'll see it turn into an X. Now those students are muted. You have your own controls at the bottom of your screen, and the first one is Leave Meeting. You can also enable and disable your audio, disable and enable your camera, and then the last option here is Share Screen. This will let you share your current either desktop, application, or Chrome tab to all of the other students in your conference. This also enables students to ask you questions through voice chat rather than just through text. Once you're done with your conference, when you go back into your dashboard, in the lower right-hand section of that live conference tab, you'll see all of your currently active conferences, and you'll see a join and an end button. Whenever you're done with that conference, just click end, and that conference will be over. Students won't be able to continue being within that conference, and it'll close it for everyone and return everything to normal. Let's also look at creating a conference with small groups. To do this, we'll use multi-select. To start, I'm going to turn multi-select on and choose 2 students. So we'll take Richard and we'll take Joseph, and we'll put them in what we'll call Team 1. Once you've got your name for that group, hit Start Conference, turn multi-select off to deselect those first students that you chose, turn multi-select back on, and choose another small group of students. So we'll take John and we'll take Grover, and we'll call them Team 2, start the conference. Now you have 2 currently active conferences going at the same time, and as the educator, you can choose which one you'd like to join, or if you'd like to join both of them and pull them up side by side, that's also an option. And then again, when you're ready to be done, let's say Team 1 finishes first, I can click End, and that'll end that meeting for Team 1. Now Team 2 finishes, we'll click End for Team 2, and that'll end the conference for them. The other thing we'll take a look at is running a live conference in combination with test mode. And for this, I'm going to adjust my screen share here. So to run live conference with a test, the first thing you'll need to do is start the conference. So I'm going to run this and I'm going to select my students here. I'm just going to call this test and we'll start a conference. I'm going to get this one student in a conference with us. And I'm also going to bring this window over so we can see these both going at the same time. So once I get a student in that conference, we can see that I can now see the camera of the student. And once I've got that set up, if I come back into the dashboard and now run my test mode, so once I've got my conference open, I click Start a Test, I specify my testing site, I set this up how I like it, and I hit Start Test Mode. Now we'll see that the student here is locked into that site that we chose for testing, and we can see that he's on that Google form. Well, at the same time, we can still see his camera. So if I'm playing the role of the student now, you can see me as I take this test, and you can see what I'm working on. And it's a great way to verify that the student that you actually expect to be taking the test is the one taking that test.